A German Shepherd dog is injured by cruel bikers, unaware that his trainer will show no mercy. When the wheels of fate turn against the innocent. In the twilight hours of a crisp autumn evening, the serene streets of a small town bore witness to an act of sheer cruelty. A German Shepherd, known among locals for his loyalty and gentle nature, found himself in the crosshairs of recklessness as a group of bikers sped through, their laughter piercing the night as they swerved dangerously close. With no trainer in sight, the dog's plight seemed dire, until fate intervened in the most unexpected way. In this quiet town, the German Shepherd, affectionately named Max, was more than a pet. He was a hero. Trained rigorously to protect and serve, his days were typically filled with challenges that showcased his bravery. But that evening was different. As the bikers' taunts grew louder, Max's instincts kicked in, not to attack, but to seek refuge. However, the bikers were relentless. One, in a cruel bid to frighten the animal, drove directly at him. Max, agile yet caught off guard, leaped away, but not without consequence. The scene ended with Max limping away, pain evident in his every step. The following morning brought a grim reality into sharp focus. Max, found by a kind-hearted local named Sarah, lay in her backyard, his leg visibly injured. Sarah, known for her gentle spirit and love for animals, recognized Max immediately. The town's beloved protector was hurt, and she was determined to help him recover. Phone calls were made, and within hours, Max was under the care of a vet. His trainer, a stern yet profoundly fair man named Mr. Thompson, alerted to the situation. Mr. Thompson's reputation preceded him, a tough exterior masking a deep love for his canine companions. When informed of the incident, his response was swift and unwavering. He would show no mercy, not towards the actions that led to this moment, but in ensuring that justice was served for Max's sake. As Max underwent treatment, Mr. Thompson began his own investigation, seeking out security footage and eyewitness accounts that could lead him to the bikers. The community rallied around Max and Mr. Thompson, their efforts painting a vivid tableau of unity and compassion. Local cafes and shops put up flyers, social media buzzed with support, and the local news channel picked up the story, casting a spotlight on the search for the bikers. It wasn't just about finding those responsible. It was a collective stand against cruelty and a testament to the town's values. Days turned into weeks, and Max's recovery was nothing short of miraculous. Under Mr. Thompson's watchful eye and Sarah's nurturing care, he regained his strength, the bond between the trio deepening. Meanwhile, the relentless pursuit of justice bore fruit. Tips led to the identification of the bikers, and soon, legal proceedings began. It was a slow process, filled with challenges, but Mr. Thompson's resolve never wavered. The resolution came on a day much like the one that started it all, only this time, the air was filled with a sense of closure. The bikers, faced with the weight of their actions, received sentences that reflected not only the gravity of their deeds but also the community's commitment to protecting its own. Max, by then fully recovered, stood by Mr. Thompson's side outside the courthouse, his tail wagging gently, a symbol of resilience and forgiveness. As the town moved past the incident, the story of Max and the night he faced cruelty became a beacon of hope and a reminder of the power of unity. It wasn't just about a dog and his trainer anymore. It was a narrative of overcoming adversity through compassion and collective effort. Max continued to serve the community, his spirit undeterred by the ordeal, and Mr. Thompson, once a figure of stern authority, revealed a gentler side, advocating for animal rights and safety. In the end, the moral was clear. Even in the face of cruelty, kindness prevails. The community's response illuminated the strength found in solidarity, and Max's journey from victim to victor inspired all who heard his tale. As the story of that fateful night is retold, it carries with it a message of hope and a call to action, a reminder that when faced with darkness, there is always a path toward light. The sun rose over the town, casting a warm glow on its streets, a stark contrast to the darker days that had just passed. In the heart of this small community, Sarah's Cafe became a hub for those who followed Max's recovery. Every morning, as the town awoke, people would gather, cups of coffee in hand, sharing updates and stories about pets who were more like family. It was here, in the soft hum of early conversations, that a deeper sense of connection was forged among the townspeople. Mr. Thompson, who had become something of a local hero, often stopped by the cafe. His presence brought a comforting sense of security, his updates on Max's recovery lifting everyone's spirits. "He's getting stronger every day, aren't you, boy?" he would say as Max wagged his tail, the bandage on his leg a stark reminder of what he had endured. The cafe patrons responded with gentle strokes and kind words, their interactions weaving a tapestry of communal care. Amidst this daily ritual, the story of that night continued to unfold. The town's collective effort had not only led to the capture of the bikers but also sparked a movement. Inspired by Max's ordeal, Mr. Thompson and several locals initiated a campaign for stricter laws against animal cruelty. Workshops were organized, led by Mr. Thompson himself, educating the community on animal rights and how to help those in need. The town, once simply a place where people lived, transformed into a sanctuary where every creature's well-being was held in regard. As Max's strength returned, so did his spirit. The cafe's backyard, overlooking a blossoming garden, became his playground, his limps becoming less pronounced with each passing day. Children would come after school to throw him balls, their laughter blending with the birds chirping, creating a melody of recovery and joy. "He's almost ready to go back on duty," Mr. Thompson would comment with a proud smile, watching Max eagerly chase after his favorite red ball. The turning point came one crisp morning when the final court hearing was scheduled. The town gathered, a sense of anticipation hanging in the air. Mr. Thompson, with Max by his side, addressed the crowd before heading to the courthouse. "Today, we stand together not just for Max, but for every animal that has suffered from human cruelty. Let's make a difference, let's be their voice." His words, fervent and powerful, echoed off the walls of the buildings, resonating deeply with everyone present. Inside the courtroom, the atmosphere was tense. The bikers sat, their heads bowed, as the evidence of their actions was presented. The footage of that night, the testimonies of the witnesses, and Mr. Thompson's unwavering voice painted a clear picture of the events. The judge's gavel fell, and the sentence was delivered, strict and fair, a testament to the town's resolve. As Mr. Thompson and Max exited the courthouse, a cheer erupted from the crowd waiting outside. It wasn't just a victory for Max, it was a milestone for the town and a beacon for other communities to follow. The bikers' remorse was evident as they apologized to Mr. Thompson, their voices low. "We didn't realize the harm we were doing. We're sorry," they said, their eyes not daring to meet Max's gentle gaze. This chapter of the town's story closed with a celebration at Sarah's Cafe, the community coming together once more. Max, fully recovered, roamed freely among the people, his presence a powerful symbol of resilience and forgiveness. The movement that started from his ordeal grew, spreading to nearby towns and cities, igniting change across the region. In the end, the moral of the story was clear. Change begins with a single act of kindness, and from there, it ripples outward, touching lives and mending hearts. Max's story, a tale of pain turned to triumph, continued to inspire all who heard it, reminding them of the power of unity and the strength of a community that stands together. As autumn turned to winter, the warmth of the community's spirit seemed to counteract the cold that swept through the town. The celebration at Sarah's Cafe had not only been a moment of closure but also a new beginning. With Max's recovery complete and the bikers' trial concluded, the town found itself at a crossroads of continued activism and returning to everyday life. Yet, the seeds of change planted during those tumultuous weeks had taken root deeply. Mr. Thompson, now a figure of relentless kindness and advocacy, took his campaign beyond local workshops. Partnering with animal rights groups, he spearheaded initiatives that spread across the state. His mission was clear, to ensure that no other animal suffered as Max had. "Every step we take is a step toward justice for our silent friends," he often said during his talks, his voice resonant with conviction. Meanwhile, Max resumed his duties, not just as a protector but also as an ambassador for animal welfare. School visits became part of his routine, where children learned the importance of compassion through his story. "How can we help animals like Max?" they would ask, their eyes wide with curiosity and empathy. Mr. Thompson, alongside Max, would guide them through lessons of care and respect for all living beings, their interactions fostering a new generation of advocates. The ripple effect of Max's story reached further than anyone had anticipated. A documentary team, having heard of the town's remarkable unity and Max's bravery, visited to capture the story. Interviews with Mr. Thompson, Sarah, and other key figures in the community highlighted the collective effort that had led to significant legal changes and widespread awareness. The documentary, titled Max's Journey, A Town's Stand Against Cruelty, premiered at a local theater, the entire community gathering to watch the powerful narrative unfold on the big screen. As the documentary concluded, the audience stood in a unanimous standing ovation, tears and smiles mingling in the dim light of the theater. "We did this together," didn't we?" Sarah whispered to Mr. Thompson, who nodded, his eyes reflecting the screen's fading light. The impact of Max's journey went beyond that night. Screenings expanded to other cities, schools, and community centers, sparking discussions and inspiring similar actions elsewhere. The town's story became a beacon, a guiding light for others to follow. In the midst of this growing movement, the bikers who had once caused such harm came forward in an unexpected way. After serving their sentences, they reached out to Mr. Thompson, asking to participate in his workshops. Their involvement, initially met with skepticism, gradually became a powerful testament to the possibility of redemption. "We were part of the problem, but now we want to be part of the solution," they shared in a workshop, their sincerity touching the hearts of those who had once doubted their capacity for change. As winter gave way to spring, the town blossomed not just with flowers but with a renewed sense of purpose. Max, ever the hero, continued his visits, his presence a constant reminder of the town's journey from adversity to advocacy. Mr. Thompson, with the support of the community, established a local shelter, named Max's Haven, a sanctuary for animals in need, ensuring that the legacy of that fateful autumn evening lived on. The story of Max and the town that stood by him thus transformed from a narrative of individual cruelty to one of communal triumph. It taught that empathy, combined with action, has the power to change not just laws but hearts and minds. It reminded everyone that from the deepest of scars can bloom the most beautiful of meadows, a lesson of resilience and hope that would echo for generations to come. As the vibrant hues of spring painted the town, Max's Haven became more than just a shelter. It turned into a community cornerstone that embodied the town's commitment to compassion and change. The opening ceremony was a testament to the town's resilience, where residents from all walks of life came together to celebrate a new chapter. Flowers were planted by volunteers, each bloom representing a rescued animal's new beginning. The joy and camaraderie in the air were palpable, as people worked side by side, turning a once-empty lot into a haven of hope. Mr. Thompson stood at the entrance of the shelter, greeting each guest with a warm smile. "This place is more than a shelter, it's a reminder of what we can achieve when we stand together," he explained to the visitors. Max, always by his side, wagged his tail, basking in the love and attention he received from the community he helped unite. The shelter quickly became a beacon for animal welfare, its impact echoing beyond the town's borders. Families came to adopt, drawn not only by the animals but by the story behind the shelter. Each adoption was celebrated as a victory, a life saved, a family made whole. Workshops and community events held at the shelter taught responsible pet ownership and wildlife conservation, spreading the ethos of empathy and protection. The transformation of the bikers was perhaps one of the most heartfelt narratives that unfolded at Max's Haven. They helped in daily operations, their dedication to redemption clear in every task they undertook. "Working here, helping these animals, it's changed us," one of the bikers, now a shelter volunteer, shared during a community meeting. "We can't undo the past, but we can shape the future," he continued, his words resonating with those who had witnessed their journey from perpetrators to protectors. As the shelter thrived, so did the documentary about Max's story. It had sparked a national conversation about animal rights and community action. Schools across the country included Max's journey in their curriculum, discussing themes of cruelty, compassion, and civic responsibility. Mr. Thompson was invited to speak at various events, where he emphasized the power of community and the role of education in preventing cruelty. The story of Max and the town reached a poignant conclusion at the annual town festival. It was a celebration of unity and triumph, with Max's Haven at the heart of the festivities. The town square was filled with laughter, music, and dancing. Stalls displayed photos of Max, before and after his ordeal, alongside stories of other animals who had found refuge at the shelter. In a special ceremony, the town unveiled a statue of Max, positioned at the entrance of the park. The statue, depicting Max with a gentle gaze and a stance of readiness, served as a lasting tribute to his spirit and the collective will of the people who stood by him. Mr. Thompson, during the unveiling, spoke words that echoed through the hearts of everyone present. "This statue represents more than Max. It symbolizes our journey towards a kinder, more compassionate world. It reminds us of the strength we possess when we come together as a community." As the festival drew to a close, the sky ablaze with fireworks, the town reflected on the journey they had embarked upon. From the darkness of a cruel act to the light of a community transformed, they had traveled together, finding strength in their unity and purpose in their actions. Max's story, a narrative woven from threads of pain and resilience, had culminated in a legacy of hope and renewal, inspiring all who heard it to believe in the power of change and the enduring strength of the human and canine spirit. As the fireworks faded into the night sky, a sense of peace settled over the town. The festival had been a resounding success, a celebration of community and change that would be remembered for generations. In the days that followed, the town returned to its routine, but with a renewed sense of purpose and unity. The story of Max and the shelter had become a cornerstone of local identity, a symbol of what could be achieved when hearts and efforts aligned. At Max's Haven, the impact of the festival continued to resonate. The shelter saw an influx of volunteers, donations, and visitors, each person touched by the story of the town and eager to contribute to its mission. Families who adopted pets shared their stories on social media, spreading the message of compassion and the joy of giving a second chance to those in need. One particularly touching story emerged from a local school, where students had started a club dedicated to animal welfare inspired by Max's story. They organized fundraisers, collected supplies for the shelter, and even started a program to educate their peers about animal care and protection. We saw what could be done when we all come together. We wanted to be part of that change, a student leader shared during a school assembly. Meanwhile, Mr. Thompson's role as an advocate and educator only grew stronger. He was often invited to speak at conferences and events, where he shared the lessons learned from Max's ordeal and the community's response. His talks, filled with stories of transformation and hope, inspired others to take similar actions in their communities, creating a ripple effect that went far beyond the town's borders. The documentary, Max's Journey, continued to be a tool for change, shown in communities facing similar challenges, reminding viewers of the power of collective action and the importance of empathy. It was more than a film, it was a call to action, a narrative that helped others see the possibility of transformation in their own backyards. As the anniversary of Max's rescue approached, the town planned a commemoration event to honor the journey they had undertaken. The event was a reflection of the past year's achievements and a reaffirmation of their commitment to continue their work. Stories of the animals who had passed through the doors of Max's Haven were shared, each story a testament to the shelter's impact. The ceremony was heartfelt, with community members, volunteers, and those who had adopted pets from the shelter sharing their experiences. Mr. Thompson, with Max by his side, spoke last. This past year has shown us the strength of our convictions and the impact of our compassion. Each of you has played a part in this story, a story that doesn't end here but continues in every life we touch, in every action we take towards kindness. As the event concluded, the community gathered around the statue of Max, placing flowers at its base. The statue stood not just as a reminder of what had been overcome but as a beacon for the future, a symbol of hope and action. The moral of Max's story, deeply woven into the fabric of the community, was simple yet profound. Kindness is transformative. It has the power to heal wounds, to bridge divides, and to create a legacy of compassion and resilience. As the town looked forward, they did so with the knowledge that their actions could inspire others, just as they had been inspired. In the story of Max, they found not just a tale of survival, but a guiding light for their continued journey toward a kinder, more empathetic world.